From a defensive standpoint, is this about as tough a matchup as you're going to get, just given how good they are across the board defensively?
Yeah, I mean their physical toughness is as good as anybody in the country, and when you look at their numbers defensively, it's it's 1 through 5. Those guys guard anybody. Their physicality, their steal percentage, they're number 1 in the nation in steal percentage. They're going to be in gaps. We can't play in a crowd. That's going to be as important as anything in this game. If you do, they're going to take it from you, and there's nothing you can do about it. We're not going to be the first team all of a sudden that can get by their first line of defense. We have to make simple plays all game long, and they're going to keep that thing out of the paint. That's what they do, and they're really, really good at it. And then they fly around in rotations as well, and they're a very good rebounding team. So yeah, I think 58 points a game that they give up, and have already been tested with their schedule and won a big game on the road at Oregon already in our league, so they know how to do that. It's it's one of those games we've got to be on point for 40 minutes. If we have any type of lull in this game on either end, this could be a long afternoon. So mixed teams are always as tough as anybody, and we got to go in there and hopefully match that.
How do you prepare and simulate a defense that forces many turnovers?
Yeah, you try to do the best you can, and whatever you're facing, whether it's a press, whether it's a team that's going to sit in gaps and play pack, or whether it's a team in UCLA that's going to get out and pressure all over the floor. You just try to simulate it as best you can, knowing it's not going to be perfect. I give our scout team all the credit in the world, and I talked about a couple of those guys that went in the game the other day and gave great minutes for us. But those guys behind the scenes, I wish people saw the work that they put in to learn other teams' systems, both offensively and defensively, and they have to go out there and execute. And it's good for them. It's good for when you look at a guy like Nick Janowski and Braden Frager and Justin Bolus. Those guys in their first year in the program, they're learning every system in the league now. And when we go on the road, already being at Michigan State, next week you go to Iowa, you go to Purdue, they're going to experience all that, and that's very beneficial for their futures. But, I give those guys all the credit in the world, being the first ones in the gym, going out there trying to learn all the plays that we're going to face, and they do a really good job of executing and getting us prepared. And from a defensive standpoint, it's hard to simulate what UCLA is going to do to us on that end, but they're doing the best they can.
Ball security, you mentioned how important that's going to be. That's kind of been a bugaboo really all season for you guys. What have you identified as maybe the root causes of that, and is this just something that they got to figure out themselves on the court, or can it be addressed?
I mean, the ones that bother are just the careless, mindless ones. We stepped on the sideline twice the other game. That just eats away your insides. We had 3 straight possessions where we turned it over that led to dunks on the other end. And I guess the one good thing is we're facing a defense very similar to what we just faced as far as pick and roll coverage, as far as being ball hawks out there. They had great hands, and we didn't handle it great with the turnovers, and we have to clean it up if we want to win consistently in this league. We have to value possessions much better than what we're doing right now, and finish possessions better than what we're doing right now. And UCLA is going to test us in both of those areas on Saturday afternoon. So, we got to get off to a good start as far as taking care of the ball, getting quality looks, getting shots up on the glass. If you turn it over, they turn it into dunks and layups and threes on the other end. So we have to take care of the ball. We have to value possessions.
You've said this has to be a gritty, grimy team. When did you see the guys themselves maybe buy into that idea or that philosophy?
Well, I think we kind of have to. Early on when we were really struggling, we've shot it better as of late, but when we were really struggling to put the ball in the basket, you got to find a way to win in other ways. And I thought that we did a pretty good job of that. We've done a good job of that all year long as far as buying into the defensive system and the game plan discipline. And we've been pretty solid with the exception of a couple games, and we've lost those games where we haven't been as sharp or we haven't been as on point. But our guys have really grown. When we got it handed to us on the road at Michigan State, we've been pretty good ever since. And and now the challenge is once we start playing these bigger, more physical teams, this team is very similar to Michigan State in the way that they're going to go out with their physicality and really get after us. And, we'll see how we handle it. And we'll see how we respond. There's going to be adversity that hits us at some point on Saturday, and how we handle it will determine whether we have a chance to win or not. And, that's the theme in this league, is handling adversity much better than we did against Michigan State, and we've done a solid job. We had close games, in Hawaii that we pulled away in the end. So, late game execution is going to be very important. We're going to play a lot of close games. In these last 18, and the team that executes best on the stretch are the ones that are going to be on top of this league at the end.
In past seasons, how have you handled the emotions of players going against their former teams? Obviously with Burke on Saturday, and then even going into the next one with Aaron going into time.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really talk about it, to be honest with you. It's, something they know it. They, they want to go out and play well against former teams. BK, I think, is playing some of his best basketball right now. He's playing with more confidence on the offensive end, and he's been one of our better defenders when you look at it from an analytic standpoint. Rebounding, as he's really helped us on the glass, and he's a guy that can play multiple positions. He's playing a lot of 5 for us right now, which is important with Bilodeau, a guy that can pick and pop and being their leading scorer, and a guy that can really shoot the ball. So we're going to need him, to play 4, play 5, and just continue to get better. But a lot of it is he's gotten himself in better shape since the injury. He struggled in that area when he went down with the groin, being out a week. It's taken him a while to get back in the game shape that he needs to be in, but I think he's pretty close. Just did an extra conditioning session out there right now with our strength coach, and I know these are big games, for these guys when you face your former program. They want to go out and play well, but at the same time, you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself. Just go out there and play with instincts, which is when Burke is at his best, and hopefully play well.
What have you seen from Bilodeau that's maybe different this year than playing against you coach against me?
Yeah, he's playing with a ton of confidence. He's they're putting him in a lot of really good situations. They're pick and popping him with the floor flat, which is a tough cover, especially when they have quick guards like they do. And then they're putting him on the mid post and letting him go to work with different type of ISOs. It's tough. Those are hard covers. It's the number one thing on your scouting report is how are you going to cover a shooting 5. Or a guy at the 4 when they slide him down and come in big, are you going to change it? And they do a really good job. Mick does a great job of putting those guys in good situations. And he's a guy. You look at, I think it was a Carolina game. He hits 2 threes coming down the court. Our 5's instincts can't be to run to the paint when there's nobody in there. We have to match. We have to match in transition. And he puts you in a difficult position because of his skill set.
How has Aaron progressed the past couple days?
Yeah, Aaron did a little bit of contact today. He was non-contact yesterday. He's still a little bit sore. Obviously it would be great to have him because of the pressure that they're going to apply to us, but we're not going to take any chances. We know we've got a lot of games left. So, we'll see how he responds to today's load, and hopefully he can do a little bit more tomorrow. And, we'll see where he is. It'll be a game time decision on Saturday.
With all the talk about just these first 5 games of January and how difficult the stretches could be, and pair that with how good you guys have been at home, how important is this one? Just the fact that you have a marquee opponent at home that has to travel halfway across the country, and just the advantages that come with that. Yeah,
and the way our league is now, I know they're coming in today, so they get 2 days to acclimate to the time zone, and it's smart. And it's important in this league. You got to do the best you can to protect your home court. We did obviously a great job of that last year. And if you don't, if something happens, you got to find a way to regroup. And we got 2 road games, tough road games after this one. But our sole focus is on Saturday afternoon and what we can do to give ourselves the best chance to compete and give ourselves the best chance of having having at the end of the game a chance to win. And I'm confident our guys will continue to do that. We've played well. Now the challenge is, once we get smacked in the face, we got to find a way to handle that as good as possible to give ourselves a chance to win.
How much did that little late run by Gavin do for his confidence? And I guess, did you see a little more pep in his step this week, just that he finally got that?
It started with practice. He had a good week of practice. And, we looked for opportunity to get him in the game, and I'm glad we did those last, whatever it was, 4 minutes. And he went out there, to Gavin's credit, and he played great. And those are the things, along with practices, that lead to more opportunity. And, it's all our guys. Kale obviously is one of our most consistent players when it comes to following the game plan and knowing the scouting report. And Gavin's a guy that can take the lid off when the ball's not going in. And, I think he showed that the other day. His shot looked really pure in that game. So, just continue to be ready when your name's called and go out there and give your team a positive impact.